Hello, YouTube! Welcome. It's been a hot minute, so I figured I'd, take advantage of doing a menial task to show off that menial task, and to talk to you. So, a while ago, me and the fiance found at a Goodwill, or a secondhand store, I forget which, some Wii controllers. The problem is, pollution. They're corroded inside. So I have some cleaning grade vinegar and some rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and I'm gonna clean them up because earlier I had to clean the main one we were using, and so I now actually know how to open up and put them back together, and they're really simple, and so I can do it. I'd been dreading the task because I didn't know how complicated it was going to be, but I was forced to figure it out, and so I have confidence now that I can do it while showing it off to you and while making a YouTube video. Hi, I'm Stephen Lee Stoll II, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Low Jedi 100. Okay, charging cable, because my phone's battery is low. Now, is it dumb to plug an extension cord into the wall to plug a charger into so that you can have your phone in the right position over the sink? Probably, but it's what I have to do. That'll work. Well, now I have to edit it. I hit the wrong button. Now, as I said, I will be taking it apart, which I'm so happy that I actually have the right tool for. It's not focusing. It's a little triangular sort of thing. But we'll do that after we've cleaned the battery box. The first thing I'm going to do is take this off, just because I don't need unnecessary dampening of these things, and so I'm going to do that for both of them off camera as soon as my hand gets back to the phone. Also, me wearing gloves has less to do with my concern about the chemicals I'm going to be using, although I do have open wounds on my hand from my job, because cardboard is really rough on your skin, especially if you hit it from the right angle where it cuts your skin. But I'm primarily wearing them because these days I'm noticing I'm a lot more sensitive to texture in general, so I just don't want my hands to do that while I'm doing this, because it'll feel awful. And also, this is, like, you know, a vibe. Although I'm not irreverent of chemicals, because I was helping my fiance dye her hair, and I was holding the tray of bleaching solution, and my thumb was apparently over some of the goop, and after the bit that I'd been holding it for to paint the back of her head, my finger, for like the next 10 minutes, there was a speck where it was pure white, and I was terrified. I was so terrified. But it's fine, it's back to normal. No actual pain or anything. So yeah, earlier this year, as some of you may have caught on, I moved down to South Carolina to live with my fiance. And it's been good. It's been nice getting to, you know, see her, without a screen between us. It's been really good for creative projects. She's helping me edit my... I just realized how out of screen this is. She's helping me edit my next book that I'm going to be publishing. Another theology book. It's been nice having her for, like, The Dumb Detective, the video series I've started since moving down here, that I've unfortunately not gotten a chance to get back to doing. I plan to. Don't worry. It's in the works. I have no clue where that crumb just went of corrosion. You know, it's really inaccurate when we call it battery acid, Because, unless I'm mistaken about certain kinds of batteries, so far as I know, the only batteries we tend to use are alkali-based. So maybe for cars or something, but the kind that these take should be alkali batteries. So it's just a little confusing when you look up online, like, how to clean battery corrosion. And they go, to get rid of battery acid, you should put on acid. Well, to neutralize it. Well, you know, acid is not going to neutralize acid, but because this corrosion is rooted in a base chemical leaking, then, yes, an acid will take care of that base chemical. I am really sorry that I have not been editing Tomes episodes, though a few have happened since I stopped editing them. Unfortunately, we have also been on hiatus for almost the whole year. That has been an unfortunate, and I have been trying to remedy that. But rest assured, I have the groundwork for future projects I want to do. I'm laying the groundwork. Some of it's coming along very swimmingly. Now, I did not think of a receptacle for the screws. Shoot. Do I have a little cup? Do I have a lid cap of something I can use? I'll be right back. I just remembered that the phone stand is itself has a receptacle bottom. So I could just unscrew these. But yeah, I'm working on things. I've gotten... one thing I was tracking, in terms of just personal hobby stuff, was Team 17, makers of Worms, put out in August their tabletop adaptation of Worms. I was following it, and then I moved down here, and I got busy with other things, and August passed, and I didn't notice until about a month later, or 2 months later, and I was like, hey, wait a second, my game's out. I was waiting for. So I've got that. I've got the guys painted up. Here, let me show off one of them. I have to do a trio just to show off. What I'm really going for with them is a very Worms 2 aesthetic, if anyone's familiar. The regular grenade and the special several kind grenade. Several explodey bit grenade. So that's coming along. I'm not quite sure how much of that y'all will actually see for a reason or another. I just need a flathead to help pry this open. Alright. Yeah, one thing I'm hoping to be able to get around to doing is more short films. And in general, I'm hoping to do more. Oh, something fell. Oh, you didn't fall out of the other one. Okay. That was the light bar sensor. Put this in my bits tray so it stands out. Did I say that right? That was the display here. The clear plastic for that. Cool, more things are falling out. Oh boy. Okay. It's going a little more chaotic than the other one. But no, I plan on basically, for once, actually having a New Year's resolution. This is just going to be a little messy. New Year's resolution to make one video. One YouTube video a month. One proper, not a live, just actually create, produce something for each month. I can make other stuff, and also I don't have to make other stuff. But I have to produce one short film, or not one short film, one video, a year. I'm taking these fully apart, by the way, just so that I can, just so that I can fully clean them and make sure that, like, there's not corrosion on the motherboard. So I'm kind of doing exploratory surgery for bronchitis. But that bronchitis could be pneumonia, so I feel justified in doing so. So yeah, video a year. Video a month. Is the plan I have for this year. I'm also turning 25 this year. Next year, that is. Quarter life. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm finally coming into myself in a lot of ways, in terms of, like, what's my personal aesthetic, what is, what kind of clothes I like. I mean, well, the clothes I like hasn't really changed. I've gotten some clothes that I like, some newer clothes that I like, that are in very much the same vein as the clothes I normally would wear, but, I'm not sure what I'm... Oops. Sorry. But it sounds so much more violent than I think it actually is. These are more like Lego sets. Japan's really good at designing. Just designing. Oh, does this have the... Is this one of those with the Wii Motion Plus included inside? Oops. Oh, I'll put that all back together. We'll deal with this one first. Let's make sure that there's no more... Does this terminal not pop? Oh, this terminal didn't pop out. Oh, this is its own separate little terminal here. Let's see. Can I... Maybe I can't? The better thing is maybe I shouldn't? We'll see. It seems it'll be too much work to take out, but it still has some corrosion on it, so I'm going to specially spot treat this. So yeah, I currently, I have a job. I'm not going to tell people where, just in case, you know, you don't want people, you don't want haters trying to ruin your life and all that, given the apologetics I do on here. I have a debate maybe coming up, we'll see, with one Jim Von Sage, a member of the Church of Christ, which, you know, one of those groups that says they're not a denomination. Meanwhile, their name is plastered on churches, like, you know, what you do when you're a denomination. Actually, I should probably remove both. I don't have to remove the speakers. Let's take a look at how this guy looks under everything. Come on. There we go. A little bit of corrosion. Let's compare. Okay, both sets of terminals need to be cleaned. A little more. What is this? Is this the Motion? Is this like Motion Plus? Let's see, is it? Oh, it's on both terminals. I don't know. I didn't notice that on the original one that I opened. Sorry, I need to make sure this is in frame for you. Whew. Smells like smells like you know, white vinegar. I'm using cleaning vinegar, by the way. Though if I had it, I do believe this would work with regular vinegar. Because the main component I'm focusing on here is the acidity, or is the fact that it's an acid. Whew, that smells. To neutralize any residual corrosive, you know, desire, I guess. Potentiality. There we go. That's the right word. Mental encyclopedia. Yeah, just take care of these things, because, you know, this was such a fun and fundamental, like, toy when it came out. Game, system, console, tech, that it's worth preserving, instead of just getting a new one. It's worth cleaning, and figuring out how it works, and making sure that it will work again. I am going to take my gloves off now. Sorry to ruin the fun vibe we had going, but I actually need to be spot checking for dryness in this stage. Alright, this glass is now full of isopropyl alcohol, so now it's very much do not drink. I mean, neither of them should be drank, but I'm just going to clean over this just to make sure it's been cleaned. I should actually break this down all the way. That way I can actually make sure every bit has been individually dried and there's no residual lurking anything to cause problems. This is from the era when there's always some level of delicacy to electronics and wiring. But this was made from the era when we made them more durable. Now this is alcohol, so I should just be able to let these air dry. We'll see about that. If not, this is from an era when electronics was more durable. It's always the saying now, like dealing with electronics, like if you have to force it, stop. You're gonna break something. And that is true. But back in the day, especially with stuff like this, you know, this is made in Japan. When my dad always told me is that the best toys came from Japan, because he grew up when that's the only place we really bought from, imported from for that kind of stuff. They make stuff that's durable. And a lot of old electronics used to be a lot more durable. You have to actually, if you're ever working on an old computer, you have to actually push and pull connectors for hard drives and disk drives and all that. You have to force them out. So yeah, so that's alcohol. So that should just air dry slowly. And while it does that, I can put this stuff all back in its place now that it's popped out. Try to keep the populations in their proper unit. Where is the little notch for this guy? Oh, that's the minus button, not a 1. That would explain it. The ingenious design of this, it's very intuitive. I say as I've put it in completely wrong. It's designed to a high degree where everything actually has only one way it can fit in. So if you accidentally pop everything out, you can just line it up, pop it back in. Which is really great for me. This would not work otherwise. Now that... Oh, that's out of place too. Oh, that's right, because these are power buttons. The power button is forced to go like so. Here's the 1 button. Let's see, did I put the 2 up here? I did. This is the A button for this one. Just missing the A button. I'll skip this process now. If you get turned around on how the rubberized bits go, they encapsulate the places on the faceboard, so they're more open. I don't know the word. There's this more flush side, and there's the more bowl-like side. The bowl-like side is going to be hugging the frame of the face. And again, Nintendo really idiot-proofed repairing this. In both of these, I've noticed a bluing through the rubber on these pieces, and I don't know what that is. Hope it's nothing like a sign of something chemically going on. It feels the same between the two. Now, the main reason I took my gloves off was to check this little fabric cover for the speaker, which fortunately is perfectly dry. If I could just go right back in there. This popped back off. Now, I'm an impatient man, so I am just going to dry this all. Now, I've trapped moisture in at least one of these, so I'm going to blow dry them for a bit. Now that everything has been thoroughly ensured of dryness, we can start to reassemble this all. So we need to make sure that this prompt, this thing for the trigger, is going to be touching the sensor pad. Unfortunately, again, they have the design specialized to where, because of this little hole here, there's only one way that this fits back on the guy. You just put the speaker, or sorry, not the speaker, this is the shaker. You just delicately, he says indelicate, and there, that just nests right in there. Then we are ready to take the Wiimote base and make sure the bits line up. This is where I would certainly recommend be very careful about forcing anything. That back in there. Some parts will snap back into place. Where's my other Wiimote? And the glue's coming off around this capacitor. Not here for that level of restoration. Just making it functionable, operable. In fact, the one terminal will even have to be revisited eventually, as it's still... Eventually I'll want to try to actually pop that one terminal out and clean it more thoroughly. I'm actually so surprised with how well that worked. In the future, that may encourage me to take actual care of more electronics that are like that. Like if I find them at the store and they're corroded out, I can just go, this is actually within my means of salvageability. Just gingerly try to... Come on. Was it that I didn't do it all properly? What's off? Oh, battery. Or not battery, the vibration part is out of place. Come on. There's just a pinch off. What's off here? Okay. Be careful not to stab yourself on the nodes that you can stab yourself on. Now for the final part, just line it up with the face. Oh. Line it up with the face. And thread things back together. Snaps back into place. We realize that that's a little dirty. Let's see, how clean can I get my toothbrush? I can't. I'll clean that later. Pop that back. Oop. Line it up. Snap. And now we do the most tedious part of replacing the screws. Ah, the screws are corroded too, actually. I should clean them. It's important to take care of your things so that in reciprocation they can take care of you. If you have a weapon or a tool, you know, you need to maintenance it so that it doesn't fail or break, and it can serve your purposes of hunting or fishing, or you know, if it's a saw or a chainsaw. Similarly, it's good to take care of your implements of play so that they can take care of you when you're bored. Make sure these go back dry. And now with the screws back in place, I can... Is this the right one? Yes. I can second guess myself, despite never actually changing the bit for this screwdriver. If you always second guess yourself, you should always second guess yourself with this kind of stuff. Measure twice, cut once. I used to work with a guy who was the fastest man on the cut line. You know how he achieved that? He measured once and would often have to cut twice. The man did not know how to grade wood, or at least he didn't care enough about grading the wood. And the man evidently did not have the best eye for how long he was cutting things. And, like I said, he only seemed to measure what he was cutting once, which would lead to a lot of miscuts. A cut from him could be anywhere from half an inch to an entire foot or more off. And that's just not good productivity. It's actually the opposite of that. It's reductive. It makes more work for the stacker. It makes more work for the cutter, because he has to cut however many more boards to replace the ones that he messed up. Costs the company more. So, yeah. There we go. And now to test these out. I'm actually nervous as I am cleaning up now that, about not waiting long enough. Because I blow drew the terminals, and I air dried the circuit boards. I'm just scared I missed something, which is a perfectly valid and reasonable fear to have. Because if I miss something, then bad things will happen. I'll short circuit something and it won't work. So, yeah. I'm gonna procrastinate a little before I film the next bit. Maybe in the meantime I can talk about how I have a bunch of never opened VHS tapes that I'm going to use for various somethings. Find out. You know, back when people were actually very okay with you having their content for yourself. You watch it on TV, put it on VHS, what I mean, want to do, make home movies. That's honestly, the more I've thought about what I do on this channel, the more I kind of realize that while I make short films, and I love making short films, and I'm going to keep making short films, they're ultimately rooted less in film festival short film style. I'm not making something to take to Sundance. I'm making home movies. Some of which I wish I could take to Sundance. You know, I hope, I view what I make with that same level of confidence of, at least now, of this is what I can do within my means. And it's always been what I could do within my means. I never felt bad about the Lego videos I was making because back in the day, low quality was what you had for video. And so what I made was the same tier as the content I was emulating. And you know, for YouTube, I can still do that for film quality. I guess not, but you know, I'm not about to put out the money to get a red brand cinema camera. That's thousands of dollars I could be using for other things. The more and more I've actually, excuse you, can you stop swinging? The more I've analyzed who I am as a person, the more I have realized that the joke, I feel almost like I simply don't interface with the world correctly. The more I've realized I need to stop trying to interface at, you know, I'm neurodivergent. I need to stop trying to interface with the world neurotypically. I need to find a way, a groove to interface that is for me. I can't and don't really want to make really a film franchise. I want to make stuff within my means. I don't want, and what I mean by that, I do want to make films. But what I can do, what I will succeed in, won't be, unless the Lord, who has a great sense of humor, decides otherwise, won't be in a theater, unless we rent something out. It will be Stupor Wars. It will be Ennuis and Cheries and Cell. It will be short films. It'll be what I've been doing. And it'll get better in some ways. I just hope it never gets worse. I just gotta apply myself. I gotta try. I got this. I can... If I gotta... I want to get a VHS camcorder, you know. I want to do stuff with this, put files onto this, and play them back so that I have them with an actual VHS filter. Different thing. I want to experiment, explore, and expand within my means. And that's a bit of a pill to swallow for me. Because I'm going to worry with that what I'm making isn't adequate. So I don't know what to do about that. I just got really introspective out of nowhere. It's probably been long enough to test the Wiimotes. Oh. Just remembered I forgot to clean the battery case closures. So I'm doing that now. But final notes on my creativity. As I've said before, as I'll say again, a million, zillion, trillion times. I've always created what I want to see. I don't do just for others. I don't start a project going, what do Lone Jedi 100 fans want to see? I can't because there aren't. I don't do that. And if I had a fan base, I would be crippled by trying to start a project going, well, what do the people who read House on the Sand want to see? What do the people who watched Stupor Hero or Stupor War want to see? The people who've only seen one or the other. What do people who love, you know, I make what I like to watch. I make what I want to emulate, a story I would like to look at and go, here I took an element from here, and I synthesized it through my own filters, and I made my own personal cinematic digital universe version of it. I love red versus blue, so I made Stupor War. I love military history, so I've made Among the Dead at Monte Cassino, Downed in France, A Walk Through the Ardennes, not in that order. And someday I hope to get to share my Star Wars with you, but that's been in development hell since 2016, and is a book. And you know how I am about reading. I don't like to read, so it's hard for me to edit. And with that said, we can close this video by testing the cleaned remotes. My cousins once told me when I was very young that when I was maybe 3, I completely disassembled a computer tower and put it back together. And I'm pretty sure that they were not being honest at this point. And bada bing, bada boom, it works! Now for 2. But in the last few years, I have taken apart computers, and I have put them back together. And their underlying issues I couldn't fix notwithstanding, oops, they did work again. In a therapeutic way. Come on. It's kind of like people. Sometimes they just gotta break down before they can be put back together and work again. And sometimes, like how we kept these just on a shelf out of sight since we bought them once I moved, early when I moved down here. Sometimes you have to take time away. Or sometimes people have to go away for a time. So that when you see them again, they found a way to work right. Until next time, God bless. Now fix the nunchuck, Steven! Oh, who said that? Ooh.